Miss Vale, Miss Albert, and Miss Burbank went to the movies over the weekend. Miss Vale ate 2/3 of her popcorn, and Miss Albert ate 3/4 of her popcorn, and Miss Burbank ate 8/12 of her popcorn. Miss Vale said she ate an equivalent amount of popcorn as Miss Albert, since they are both one apart from one whole. Miss Burbank disagrees with Miss Vale and thinks she ate the same amount as Miss Vale. Who is correct? Explain. Now, the first thing to do to start off here is to start breaking up what we have in this problem. So let's see what we have here. We have Miss Vale, Miss Albert, and Miss Burbank. Now, Miss Vale ate 2/3 of her popcorn. Miss Albert ate 3/4, and Miss Burbank ate 8/12. And so see how we have 3 different people in 3 different equations? We're going to put all those over here. So we're going to write Vale, Albert, Burbank. Now, one of the most important parts that solving math story problems like this is keeping yourself organized. A lot of times students do all the right math, but their work is kind of messy, and then they make little mistakes because they're not very organized. So just make sure you keep your work nice and organized. So Miss Vale's fraction was 2/3. Miss Albert's was 3/4. And Miss Burbank's was 8/12. Okay, so the question is, Miss Vale thinks she had an equivalent amount of popcorn as Miss Albert. Equivalent means equal. So Miss Vale thinks that she had the same amount as Miss Albert. So she thinks that 2/3 and 3/4 are equivalent. So we're going to figure out if that's true. Okay, we're going to see if that's true. So the way we can do that is we'll take our 2/3 and our 3/4. And we're going to see if they actually are equivalent, okay? So the way you can do this is you can ask yourself, what can I multiply each of these sides by to get the other? Could I multiply, if I multiplied one side by something, would I be able to get the same thing? Now, it's really difficult because in this case here, we have different denominators. We have a 3, we have a 4, but multiples of 3 and 4, we have a common multiple. So the multiples is just when you're multiplying by that number, when you're skip counting by that number. So for example, the multiples of 3, 6, 9, 12, on and on. And 4, it's 4, 8, 12, 16. Oh look, they both have 12. That means 12 is a common denominator. The common multiple. So to make this 3 a 12, we would need to multiply it by 4. That will give us 12. And if you're multiplying the bottom by 4, you have to multiply the top by 4. So 2 times 4 is 8. So now 2/3 is now 8/12. And then to make this 4 a 12, you would need to multiply by 3. And then if you're multiplying the bottom by 3, you have to multiply the top by 3. So now we have 9/12. And now it's really easy to see. Now that we have the same denominator in each one, we have a 12 and a 12, it's really easy to see, oh, these are not the same. Because now we have 8/12 compared to 9/12. This one over here is a teeny bit more. This 3/4 is a little bit more than 2/3. They are not equivalent, okay? I'm actually going to rewrite the new equations below, 8/12 and 9/12. So 3/4 is equivalent to 9/12. And then 2/3 is equivalent to 8/12. Okay, so that means 2/3 and 8/12, they're equivalent, and 3/4 and 9/12 are equivalent. And now the next question is, so Miss Vale said that she thinks her Miss Aubert had the same amount, but they didn't look. Miss Aubert had a teeny bit more, 9/12 versus 8/12. Okay, so they did not have an equivalent amount. But Miss Burbank disagrees with Miss Vale and thinks she ate the same amount as Miss Vale. So let's see. Miss Burbank says she thinks she ate the same amount as Miss Vale. They did. They both had 8/12. So right down here, we would write Miss Burbank is correct. She and Miss Vale each ate 8/12 of their popcorn. And that's our answer. And just to kind of review, what we did here was we took our two fractions, our 2/3 and our 3/4, and we found a common denominator. And we found a common denominator by listing the multiples of that number, so skip counting by each number, and finding one they both had in common. Okay? And then we just wrote both fractions below the first fraction, and then we were easily able to compare. But do you see how if I didn't have them organized like this, I would have had to be searching around all over the place for all my different fractions? So make sure you keep your work nice and organized. And then if you have any questions on how to find common denominators, leave it in my chat box. Thanks, guys.